Hello, everybody, and welcome to another daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Hope you're doing all right this evening, wherever you are. I'm broadcasting you, as per usual, live from the garage. I'm quite comfortably seated this evening. We've had a little bit of a rearrange. You can probably tell over the last couple of broadcasts that I've done, my position is somewhat different. And there is a story behind that. You see, I was down there before, kind of squatted on the floor with everything perched up on like this little bench thing. And yesterday I got up and I couldn't walk. I was so cramped. I was like, oh God, I use a snooker cue as a walking stick. But I come home today and I found the garage had been completely rearranged. And I thought, oh, great. But then I looked at it and I thought, you know what, this could work. This could actually work. And I've actually got my child, Jack, his little mini snooker table actually here. And it's an ideal desk. So I've sat everything up on that and I'm now perched on a chair. And I'm far more comfortable. And what's more, speaking of Jack, I thought I'd have an upgrade from my normal Coca-Cola and my normal Jack. I thought I'd put both in a can, open it up and say, cheers, everyone. Oh, that's much better. Let's have a look, shall we? And see who's around in the chat. Alan, two Allens. Alan Pape, Alan Pierce, good to see you. Blood Nose, Cosmic War Toad, again, all the regulars. This is great. Anna Perkins, good to see you. Another one of the regular people. Patricia Shaw. What's this? What are you saying? I've heard it all now. Klaus Schwab will be getting his truth warriors out to check any disinformation on YouTube. You will own nothing and be happy. Yeah, right. And that comes from Simon Sideways. Yes, I did see that video a day or two ago. Julie sent it over to me. I mean, yeah, piss off, basically. But we'll see how that goes. What do you call a pair of octopuses? Identical. Identical. Yes, I get that now. Very good, Patricia. And welcome to the chat. Judy Keys, good to see you. Who else have we got here? Trying to get everybody. Julie Baldwin, hello to you. Good to see you. Hope you're all right. Man, there's loads of comments already. Loads. Make sure, folks, as well, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button as soon as you come in. That helps things. Alan Edge, one of my favourites. Good to see you. John Harrington as well. Good to see you. Honesty and Truth. Always good to see you come along. Daphne Lynch, you're here for the start for a change. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. Great to see you. John Harris. Handy Andy. There's always a handy Andy or two in the house, isn't there? Cabby HQ. This is right. You know, I was a little bit concerned about the whole garage thing, but I suppose a cabbie has a garage, don't they? I've kind of regressed back to where I started, but, you know, fuck it. It's all right in here. We can do a combination of the cab and here. Tracy Regan, good to see you. Summertime Sue, hello to you. Chrissy Williams, Tyrone Whitehead, and yes, the list goes on. Neats, that's another face I like to see in the chat. Santa Claus, yes, thanks, Stink Pooter, that's great. Dave Bryan, hello to you. Trevor Fuller, Tyrone Whitehead. IC33, I see a new person or someone that's not been around for a while. Hello to you. Dave the Rave as well. Adrian Berry. Adrian in Ashford. Okay. Is that Ashford as in up near Heathrow, or is that Ashford kind of localish to where I am? If it's Ashford as in localish to where I am, we're not very far away. I love you in the garage and random places on your travels, Chrissy Williams says. Well, you've got to have a little bit of random to it, haven't you? Daphne Lynch, Andy, come the winter, it will be warmer in there for you. You can put a heater in and have a beer. That's a good idea, isn't it? I mean, I've got Jack Daniels and Coke in a can today, but I prefer the normal stuff out of the bottle and put your own Coke in it. But hey, what the hell? Uh, yes, I can prove I got a snooker table as well. Look, this is what was here. It's only 3 foot long, maybe, with the worst tip you've ever seen in your life. But I got severely beaten with this by young Jack earlier at 8 ball pool. He's been playing a lot of it lately, getting like his brother pretty handy with a stick, which is a skill to be had, I suppose. Good to see your boat race, Andy. Yes, and it's clean shaven as well, which is good. I made a little mistake earlier, though. You probably can't see it. It's about there. I had a little snip. Alan. It's not Alan. It's Steve. Stu Goo says. Andy's chat with a heater and beer in the carriage. Love it. That's the kind of heater that gives out heat, not the kind of that the Americans say. Andy, get to the end of the queue. The trouble is, which that's enough of that old one. Anna Perkins, how about that awful crash in the early hours on the A40, killing the woman passenger and injuring a poor bloke charging his Tesla and the driver? Some fair speed generated. Suicide attempt. Well, I saw that online. Let's see if I can find the footage, Anna. I mean, that must have looked 100 miles an hour. Easy. Let's see if I can find anything to do with it. I wasn't going to bring that up, but let's see. There we go. That's something. It's only a very tiny piece of footage. Let's cue that up and see if we can get it played. Share screen, Chrome tab. Yeah, I don't know if this will come out too well, but yes, that was from the other side of the wall. There isn't any audio on that, but that was so bad. Very, very fast. Very, very bad. And I think whoever was in that car had no hope in hell of surviving that at all. Really. I mean, that footage was so fast. You saw nothing. I mean, it just went straight over the top and into the railway line, didn't it? And you can see the crash footage online. That Range Rover is a complete and utter mess. Really is a complete and utter mess. You are getting good at sharing screens now, Andy. Yeah, thank you, Daphne. It's all to do with StreamYard, which I've opted to use for all of the live streams. Because what would it? Slurpy Dave is in the house. Good to see you. I love this guy because every time he comes in, I get this greeting, slurp, and that's brilliant. And he has some jokes as well to tell, so keep an eye out for him. Hi, Mum. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you're all right. And we had a bit of a natter earlier, didn't we? Yeah, with StreamYard, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate things to show you this evening, and they're all lined up, and I can quite happily share them with StreamYard and put them on the screen and share them with you like that. But before, I had my tablet and I was trying to line it up, left a bit right, a bit out, a bit. I got fed up with that, so I thought I'd go with this. The setup I've got now, I've got the computer in front of me with everything on, and with the internet, because it couldn't quite reach from the house, what I've got my mobile phone next to me, which has got an unlimited data SIM in it, and I've turned the mobile hotspot function on that. And then what happens, I can connect to my phone and use that SIM card. So then that gives me a fairly stable internet connection. And then I've got my little ring light there, making the light source a bit stable. So it's like a little studio, really. And it works out okay. So not bad at all. Welcome, everybody in the chat that's just joined us. If you haven't done so, you know where you are. This is Andy, that cab driver that doth talk too much, as some people say. Good to see you all. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button in the chat. We're getting up to about 88 watching, and somebody on Facebook as well has given us a like too, so hello to you. Let's try and get those likes up. If you are new to the chat this evening and you haven't seen us before, please consider subscribing as well. Barbara has just come in the chat, and Michael Lawrence as well. Good to see you. And James 1, hello to you and welcome. Yes, and we've got channel members in the chat. Those are people that are denoted by the little symbol next to their name, and they all pay a little token pound gesture every month just to help support me and pay for the kit and everything. And we do a little members only live stream for them once a week as well. So that's all cool. This week with that, I'm going to try and make sure it's advertised better. Alan Reader has just said, Andy, Alan, what would you like to say? I will keep an eye out and see if I can spot you. Is that your bedroom, Andy? No, Dave, it's the doghouse. I end up in here quite a lot. No, it's my garage, and we've got it all tidied up, and there's some exercise equipment and all that sort of thing in here. You know, I was reading, one of the things that's in here actually is the boiler, and I was reading earlier on the news going to our electricity and gas prices that come April we could be in a bigger world of shit than we are right now. They're looking at it approaching over £5,000 every year. 5,300 is the figure that I saw that the price cap could go up to, and that is just completely unworkable for everybody. Yeah, Andy, what are we going to do in the winter? I'm 64. I only get a small company pension. I suffer from SAD. It's doing my head. Okay. Alan Reader, thinking of joining up. Well, if you join up, Alan, there's a join button somewhere. Just go and hit it, and that gives you all the options and everything. But I'm trying to give, until we build up the membership, I'm just giving everybody exactly the same at the moment. The odd live thing here and there. Sorry, the odd private vlog here and there. And also that weekly live stream as well, just to give you all, you know, something back, which is what I want to do. Yes, the gas and electricity bills. We are, thank you, Julie. I did notice that. Julie's the moderator, one of the moderators of the channel, and one of my biggest supporters, and now a channel member. Welcome to the membership, Julie. Very much appreciated. That's brilliant. And thank you to everybody that shows your support for the channel in that way. That's appreciated. And of course, all the regular subscribers and everybody that contributes to Andy the Gabby Cabby in whatever way you do. It's welcome and very heartwarming. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. Yes, the electricity bills and the gas, we're in the shit next year if what I read is anything to go by. Over £5,000 for a price cap. Now, there's a big movement out there at the moment that's saying, don't pay. Fuck them. Don't pay. Put the money in your pocket. It's not worth it. Well, there's another movement out there saying that, you know, we're looking at a situation where you could have prepayment meters put in. If you refuse, they could get a warrant and come in and do whatever. And it could happen in extreme cases. I mean, I was sent a video earlier. It was a Maya Tusi video that I think it was Julie sent me, Julie Baldwin. So thank you for that. And there's a guy on there who's an a mining engineer that basically talks complete sense. I'm going to share this with you now. And it was at the Conservative hustings where Liz Truss was speaking. But let's see if we can find this. I think this was it. Yeah. Right, this is the guy. And Maya Tusi said he's a spitting image of Klaus Schwab. I'm not quite sure how to take that, but what I'm going to do is mute myself. We'll play this.
I'm a mining engineer. I know about these things. And I can tell you that you cannot run, you cannot grow, you cannot progress a modern economy without a secure supply of cheap, abundant, readily available energy.
Absolutely spot on, sir.
But right here, guess what? Right below our feet is the largest energy bonanza that this country has ever discovered. Bigger than coal, bigger than the North Sea.
And yet, our political class have been ignoring it for years and years.
It's natural gas. It's 1.5 miles below where we're all sitting right now. It's ready to tap. The technology is well proven. It's not dangerous. And I think that somebody in the cabinet, preferably the Prime Minister, should get behind developing that resource. It's ours. Develop it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Greatly put. And Liz Truss is obviously in favor of that, but I wanted to kind of see what she says.
Basic common sense. I mean, I turned off what Liz Truss was going to say because, Truss and Sunak are all saying the same thing about most things. And, I'm sick to death of the political side of it. We just want to hear basic common sense from people, don't we? And that's probably the most common sense thing I've ever heard spoken for quite some time, actually. I mean, what they're referring to, of course, as Bloodnose has come up and said, is fracking. And, all the green people, all the environmentalists went absolutely nuts over it, didn't they? And it was stopped before it ever really started. And, do we have to look at this situation again? If we have this big energy resource under our feet, we need to tap into it. We need to do something about it, because otherwise there's this reliance on A, B, C, D, E. And prices are just going to go up and up and up. And let's not mention the green levy and everything else that's been forced down our throats for the last few years. It really is a very bad situation. There's a few ways of looking at it. You can find the money somehow and pay, and then you will go without an awful lot of things, and it will keep going up and up and up and up and up, and you will be forced into poverty. You don't pay and take the risk of a prepayment meter coming in and being installed. I don't like that idea one bit, because what happens, of course, with a prepayment meter, the tariff on those is a hell of a lot more than what it would be otherwise if you paid monthly. The other option is, cancel that direct debit and just pay what you can afford. That's, I will admit, the tack I'm taking. I know what I can afford to give them every month, and I will keep drip feeding them money, enough to keep the lights on. But it's getting unaffordable and ridiculous for an awful lot of people. I mean, I even know one guy that will sit in the dark for most of the day to try and save a few pence here and there. It really does great. It really does great. But I'll keep monitoring this, and when we know things, and I'll let you know anything that comes up. Now let's turn to the chat a second and see who we've got saying some things. I always like to involve you. Nick B, hello to you. I'm on a prepayment meter, paying about 150% more than I did last year. I was on a prepayment meter years ago when I lived in a flat on my own, and yeah, it was a nightmare. I was always losing track of the damn thing and having to pop down the shop at the stupidest times to top things up. And I had a key for my electric and a card for my gas. And I had to, they were a pain in the arse to manage, really. I wouldn't wish them on anybody. Yeah, Alan backs up what I've just said. I'm on a prepayment meter and it's very expensive. I want to call out Alan, actually. I'm not going into too much detail, but I noticed a comment he made about something that was going on earlier, backing me up. And I very much appreciate him, his loyalty, and sticking up for me. And that went a long way with me, Alan. Thank you very much. Just wanted to tell you and everybody else about it. But more of that in due course, just not tonight. Blah, blah, blah. That's Stu Goo. Stu Goo. Who is Stu Goo? Blah, blah, blah. That's Greta Thunberg, isn't it? Oh, an accessory pouch. Can stick my tablet in there. Andy, I wish you was the PM. Yeah, that could be an interesting one, couldn't it, Julie? Apparently the dinghy divers is just a smokescreen. The masses are still turning up in lorries. Tony, yes, we will cover that subject very shortly. I was sent a couple of things. Maybe we can just round up all the climate change activists and use their hot air to fuel the power stations. Yeah, we could use the MPs as well, couldn't we? That's a bloody good idea. Very good idea. What else we got? How do we make something expensive? Tell everyone it's in short supply. That's the same old trick, isn't it? Handy Andy. Definitely. Is he going on about fracking or dogging? Mossy Chop 001 was the one to mention fracking. This is very true, Mr. Brom. Good to see you. Common sense is not allowed anymore. That seems to be the thing, doesn't it, these days? No common sense whatsoever. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. But there you go. This is the Daily Chat with me, Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. Pleased to see you all here tonight. Welcome if you've just joined us. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button in the chat. Let's see how we are doing with those likes. We like to try and get at least 100 when we've got these people watching on a nightly basis, and it's wonderful to see you all. If you haven't done so already and you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to us as well. The more the merrier. We've reached a bit of a plateau lately with the subscribers. We got to just over 31,000 subscribers, and now we've dipped just below 31,000 again. That happens with YouTube sometimes. It can go up, and then sometimes it can drop back down again, and then it will go up again. So, it's just one of those things that we see with YouTube on a regular basis. So, we'll get there. We're growing slowly but surely. We're certainly seeing more members. So it's very much appreciated. Right, onwards and upwards. Somebody's mentioned the dinghy divers a couple of times. Funny that. I was going to mention the dinghy divers. But not Dover, not the port, not the rubber ones that come over. I was going to mention that lorries, Calais, and what's going on at the Channel Tunnel. Somebody mentioned that the dinghy divers could well be a smokescreen. Well, there was an article today, which I'll show you now. Where are we? Yes, this is the one, courtesy of GB News. Channel migrant crossings, record broken as around 1,000 on small boats seen in a single day. One day, 1,000. And you can see there, right there, it says the previous record was 696 were intercepted and pulled off 14 small boats. And that was at the beginning of the month, the 1st of August. And that's an example of one of the cutters coming in. And that was actually brought into Ramsgate, that one. That's when they were diverting from Dover. And of course, there was a active port at Ramsgate and the ferries and that were going out of there once upon a time. But, you know, 1,000 in one day. And knowing how many of those boats can hold, I mean, what's this here? Cumulative successful arrivals in the UK by people crossing the English Channel in small boats, and that's like the last 2 years. So in 2022, it bottomed out at about 15,000. I'm assuming that means at this point in time. Yeah, that's so far up until June and July, and we are going through the stratosphere this year. It's ridiculous, totally and utterly ludicrous. But where's a German U-boat when you want one? But is it all a big distraction? I want to show you a little introduction to a video that Nigel Farage said or showed on GB News. Give me a second. I'll get this played for you. Okay, I'll just mute myself and then we'll give you a blast of the Farage.
Tonight on Farage at 7, another phenomenal GB News exclusive. We have been inside the port of Calais. You think people are only coming by small boat? No, they're still coming by lorry. 8,000 last year that we know of. We're going to show you footage that is absolutely eye-watering. I suspect the numbers coming by lorry are way, way bigger than anyone can imagine. Join me at 7 for some amazing footage.
There you go, the lorries. So while we're all concentrating on the channel and barrage the Farage, while we're all concentrating on the channel and all the rubber dinghies, we're forgetting the tunnel and what's happening there. Now, Steve Laws put an interesting video out earlier, which is very telling. And I'll play this to you now. He actually went down to Folkestone, to the tunnel area where everything's going on down there. And I commented on the video earlier and said, I wish you all the best, Steve, because it's important work that's going on that way. So that's, I'm going to mute me again, and then I'll show you that.
Guys, so I'm down at the Eurotunnel today because I put in a freedom of information request asking the Home Office how many illegal immigrants arrived via the Eurotunnel since beginning of the year, 1st of January to the 1st of July. So only a 6-month period, not a long time. And the Home Office got back to me last month and they said that it's not in the public interest. They hold the information, but they refuse to give it out. So ultimately, the Home Office are trying to cover this up. They don't want people to know. It's just like the fact that they was covering up the social housing and not telling us how many illegal immigrants are going straight into social housing. So I'm going to spend the next few weeks down here trying to expose this and see if I can get a rough estimate of how many are coming over. I've got sources within the Eurotunnel that are telling me that absolutely loads are coming over. They don't want to go on camera because it'll cost them their job. So ultimately, I'm going to have to do the legwork and get the footage myself. I know the rough spots where I need to be, so it's just a case of a waiting game. But if I find out any information, I'll be sure to share it on, guys. Yeah, right, guys, so I'm
Scandal. Absolute scandal. What we seem to be seeing when all these guys, get down there and expose these things. I mean, you've got TW Media as well. Summertime Sue's just called them out. Go down there and start counting and start putting this in the public eye. Yeah, it starts ending up in the mainstream media because they've got no choice. They've got to talk about it. And it's a very, very big problem. I suspect that when Steve Laws starts poking about in this, he's going to find a hell of a hornet's nest, isn't he, to stir up. And the fact the Home Office have said it's not in the public interest, when in fact it is, very much so, it means they don't want us to know. I mean, they're very sneaky. I saw a thing in America where they're shipping in migrants that are crossing the border into so-called sanctuary cities, New York being one of them. And some of these guys are being landed in Westchester County Airport in the dead of night. So there's no journalists or no one else around to actually pick up on this and getting rid of them, shipping them off to wherever. So it's very underhanded, very, very sneaky, very sneaky. And someone mentioned, is there something nasty around the corner? You could well be correct. And we have to keep an eye on this. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Edgar Lee. I'm in the public. I'm interested. They're so patronising. You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. R.I.P. England. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Tyrone, I always said that I love this country. I was born in this country. I'd fight and die for this country. But is it the country we know of anymore? I do start to wonder that. Yeah, there is no transparency summertime, Sue. None whatsoever. What's this one? Suggests we as citizens need to be checking up on loads of things. I'm afraid I don't trust the official view on most things nowadays. Yeah. I mean, when I... hello, Matt Wooten. Good to see you. Martin Ryder as well. Mark Keane, I've seen you a couple of times in the chat. Hello to you if I haven't said hello already. One thing that I do on a regular basis is bring you news about various things. And sometimes, you report on the news or you bring you the news and you sit down and think about it afterwards and you think, hang on a minute, is this strictly the way it is, or is this the way that they want us to think it is, kind of thing? Those who control the narrative control everything. And that's what we try and do on here, is give you an alternative way of looking at things, as me and others as well. Julie Baldwin says there is, where are we? 20 more likes to reach 100. Come on, folks. We've got 130 watching. So, 125 now, because 5 have dropped out. Sometimes I think that's signal when it does that. Yeah, if 20 of those could hit the like button, that'd be great. Get up to the ton. Andy, I do not like you when walking alone at night. Don't do those risky walks. I appreciate the concern, Lucinda. There are certain areas that I will not walk down on my own. I wouldn't risk anybody, but the path I take, it's well lit, well known to me, and I can move through there very, very quickly, and know all the bits and pieces where I can duck and dive out of if need be. And one useful tip that I find, I have a very good sixth sense. I.e., if you think you're being followed or you think there's something going on, and what you do, you change direction and see if that person is actually truly following you, or you're just being jumpy. There are various things you can do out there to try and guard yourself. But yeah, Lucinda, I do appreciate the care and concern. I really do. Thank you. Usually when I walk, as if I go to my friend Dave's. I live it's probably 2 or 3 mile walk from his to mine, and I like doing it one way because when you're a cab driver, it's a very sedentary job. You sat on your bum all day, so I like to get some exercise, and karate, of course, is one of them as well. Come on, Parliament, sort it out, Cosmic Wartoad says. Luckily, the places I visit have none of the illegals, hopefully. That's Mark Keane. Anna Perkins, that's a very good point. I went out about a week ago with a friend of mine for a curry and quite a few Jack Daniels. And yeah, maybe that 6 cents was a little bit dull, but I got home all right. Nigel the handyman. How long do we have to wait to come out of the ECHR? The British people want it, but the government is still dragging their heels. Yeah, it's that is the question, isn't it, Nigel? That is the question. I mean, how much of this crap are we still tied to that they're not telling us? I mean, one of the key points that this trust come out with, I think she wanted to detach us from as much legislation as quickly as she could. Yeah, I don't buy any of it personally. But there you go. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is the police. I brought you a good story the other day about the police force, where that policewoman, well, better say police person, don't want to offend anybody like they do in Argos, decided to intervene and rage in and break up a fight with a ringleader and a gang that were trying to beat 10 barrels of crap out of an innocent person. Yeah, that was a good story. That's what police should do, protect the public and uphold the law. But you do see some antics with the police and you wonder what... what are they trying to do to their own image? I mean, you'll see what I mean. Have a look at this. Check this out. Share screen. UK police force slammed after officers filmed doing the Macarena during Pride celebrations. What a joke. Yeah, a police force has been slammed after officers were filmed doing the Macarena. Looks like Lincolnshire Police Force. And they were slammed for spending their time at the festival instead of tackling crime. What a joke. I mean, look at it. I mean, I saw one picture of one of the cops, and they had a red high-heeled shoe on, looking very pleased with themselves. And, I get if you've got large crowds like that, you do need a certain police presence to get control over a situation if it comes out of hand. And I get the need for community policing. I really do. I get the need for that police presence to be on site if anything gets out of hand. I truly do. But when you start getting involved like that and, desecrating the uniform of the constabulary and being seen to be woke, lefty, or just plain stupid, whatever it happens to be, you've got real problems with the public perception of the police service, and you wonder why there's no respect for them anymore. In my view, real-time, old-school coppers need to be back out there enforcing the laws, doing their job on the streets, and being allowed to. I mean, forget the woke stuff for a minute. I spoke to a copper the other day about the workload that a lot of them have. And one of these guys told me he had 17 different cases that he had to deal with. And it wasn't just 17 individual things, it was a single case involving, say, 5 witnesses, and then another case involving a victim and 10. How can they cope? And all these cutbacks and everything over time. It's unbloody believable. Hello, Adam. Good to see you in the chat, buddy. I see your message there. I'm not messaging you back deliberately. I have got your messages, and I'll try and arrange what you're asking for as soon as I'm possibly able to. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Just so it's between you and I, and I'll see if I can help you out there. But best wishes, Adam. Let's put him up there, saying that he's very unwell at the moment. He's a regular on here that pops up every now and again, and he's also somebody that used to like going in on Alex's phone-ins as well, and he popped up a few times. And you know, for people like him, places like this offer ample support and companionship and everything. So let's all wish our best to Adam, and hope he feels better as soon as he can. And I think he's had some hospital stay, haven't you, at some point in the not too distant past either. So keep your pecker up, sir, and hope you'll be all right. Everything gets policed except crime these days. Yeah, that's true. 5 more likes to reach 100. Yeah, come on, folks, another 5. Another 5 and we'll be fine. Adam does still phone Alex occasionally, Mark says. Yes, I'm sure he does. Honesty, I hope your dog makes a speedy recovery. Have you still got problems with your dog, Honesty and Truth? If you put it on here, I've obviously missed it while I've been yakking away. So I hope everything's all right with you. Let's have a look at who else we got. We need the police on the streets, not behind desks. Yes, that's absolutely right. They get, you know, there's paperwork and all sorts of things they get bogged down in. It really is terrible these days for them. Police can't feel collars anymore, as it would smudge their nail varnish. Yes, I like that one. Jimmy Whisper, hello to you. We the people need to beef up the neighbourhood watch. We could keep our own community safe. That brings to mind something my father told me a while back. He said he could see a time where you would get the likes of retired coppers and retired military walking around in boiler suits, patrolling the streets and telling everybody to behave themselves. And, you know, I suppose local militia, you know, like they have in the Second Amendment, the American Constitution. I wonder if we're getting to that stage in our lives where, you know, where we can't trust in the public services anymore. Very interesting times. Let's see who else we got. Clean your own cars. Don't use the pop-up car washes everywhere. Don't use Turkish barbers. Use your English. Stop paying. Funny story earlier. I'll tell you, my car really needed to clean outside. It was really quite disgusting. And my driver brought it back this morning, and it was spotless. He decided to jet wash it for me, bless him, in the car wash on the way home. Perhaps these police who dance and banter at such occasions, they need to be on volunteer status and unpaid. 10, no problem. Yeah, I understand it in some police forces. I think in America, being one of them, there are financial penalties that could be imposed if you step out of line, like no pay for a period of time. Andy, are you watching any new sci-fi? I watched Obi-Wan again, that fight in the last episode. I absolutely love that. Picard, the first couple of seasons, I like number 2 better than I like number 1 because there was a bit of a throwback to some of the old stuff. But I'm hoping season 3 rescues it somewhat with all the old cast coming back. I'm looking forward to that. Strange New Worlds, I'm enjoying very much. There's a scene in the first episode of that, without spoiling things too much, I think should be sent to all the world leaders with a very strong caption saying, "Watch this." And apart from that, I'm just waiting to check out any new Star Wars stuff, like The Mandalorian and bits and pieces of that nature, really. But yeah, I love my sci-fi. Lee Foster. Andy just dropped in. Have you seen all the illegals coming across in the last 24 hours? Yeah, I bought that video footage to you. I mean, we're going to be overrun with the damn people, aren't we? We are already. It's incredibly tough out there, incredibly. I would like to join the police, but unfortunately I have 2 left feet. I'll tell you what, I think, looking at the seriousness there, I think the recruitment standards for the police are crap these days. You see the amount of problems we have with serving officers, and maybe their backgrounds aren't being checked properly. I don't know, but it's falling to pieces. Years and years ago, I wanted to join the police force. 20 years ago, in fact, following Dad's footsteps and all that sort of thing. And it was over 2 days, and you had a very intensive load of interviews and scenario-based problems you had to sort out. And then when you got through that stage, it would then be the physical stuff. I was ready for the physical stuff, but I didn't get through the first day. And I do wonder whether I might have had a little bit of old school policing in my blood, and they didn't want it. Maybe. That's what I think with that one. But I think the whole recruitment process certainly needs looking at. And, we need to get back there somehow. Our police are in special measures. 80,000 unreported crimes. It's a disgrace. It certainly is. It certainly is when you get to that measure. And sometimes they don't want to deal with it at all, do they? They just want to bat it off. I mean, I remember an instance years ago. I had a girlfriend at the time. Yeah, there you go. Recruitment standards dropped in the 90s. Hello, John. Good evening to you. And that's a very valid point. Yeah, they. I had a problem many years ago with a girlfriend that lived in a flat in a high street, and she used to get people coming around and intimidating her, standing on her doorstep, making a load of noise and everything else. And I called the police on it one day, and they turned up pretty quick. And then it happened again. And I always remember the operator didn't want to do anything, and I basically turned around to him and said, if I have to go around there and you're called, you will have more of a problem to sort out than if you sent a patrol round there in the first place. And because I made that threat of action myself, then I went round there. Can you believe that? And then it happened a third time. And I thought, I'll blow this. I went round there with 2 carfuls of my mates anyway and dealt with the problem myself. And we're going to see more of that these days. We're going to see more of it. Most public services, how the hell did it get this bad? Absolutely. Absolutely. Not long for this world. I won't jump the gun, though. Adam, don't talk like that. Give me another message if you can this evening. Let me know what's going on. Oh God, Space Above and Beyond. I love that. How did that only last 1 season? That really got cut off in its stride. The Angriest Angel was my favourite episode of that. Really was. Babylon 5, another one. Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, classics. Absolutely wonderful. My uncle, I don't know if he's in the chat tonight. I don't think he is. Has always been into science fiction and got me into science fiction at a very early age. And he's a very skilled model maker. And he's been doing it for years and years and years and years and years. More years than I care to remember. He's got all sorts of stuff. Jason Bourne, Paul Hoskin. Right, everybody, we're coming up to about the 50-minute mark, and I'm going to start wrapping things up. I want to thank you all once again for joining me this evening for another daily chat. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you for the support of all the regular subscribers, all of your positive contributions. Thank you to all of the channel members that have joined in as well. And, of course, we'll do your members-only chat during the week at some point. I hope you found the news that I brought you informative, and the new way of that I'm doing it, sharing the screen with you, so to speak, rather than sticking a tablet up there and trying to shuffle it about everywhere. I hope you're all right with as well, and it looks a bit more polished. Even makes the garage look good, doesn't it? Obviously, there was a little bit of content out today. Tomorrow, I'm around, so I'll try and do a bit of content then. There's one thing I want to tell you. There's something going on in my private life at the moment of legal nature. I can't tell you what it is right now because it's not over yet, but it's a very, very interesting thing that's gone on for a very, very long time. And it will reveal some of the things that we've been speaking about this evening to do with the police, and it will be unreal. The information I tell you. Moreover, how long things are taken, but that's another story for another time. It is coming to an end. We've broadcast to Facebook tonight as well. So if you're watching this on Facebook, give the old live stream a share. Let's get the word out about Andy the Gabby Cabby. There's an awful lot of support for me out there at the moment, and I do very much appreciate it. I do see it, all of it. I go looking on a daily basis, and it's great. And I love you all. You're marvellous to me, very, very supportive. I try my best for you on a daily basis, along with the other job as well, of driving people to the airports, which could be interesting with some road closures and stuff coming up soon, I tell you. Anyway, enough of that. I'm going to bugger off and go and have my dinner and the rest of my beer. Whatever you're doing this evening, everyone, wherever you are, who you're with, enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodaloo.